Hello! Today you are catching a video on the importance of connecting with your students online. If you are an online ESL teacher, I have some tips and tricks for you to implement in your classroom, in your teaching, if you are struggling with connecting with your students. My name is Yvonne from Hey Miss K on Instagram. I also have this YouTube channel which is all about getting back to the basics of good online ESL teaching, as well as helping new interested teachers through the VIPKid hiring process. Now this video is for any online ESL teacher. It is not just for VIPKid teachers. So you might have these struggling students, these students that you dread teaching, these students that are uninterested, that don't know what's going on, possibly maybe their English is so low that they just parrot everything you say and have no idea what's going on. You might have students that just don't want to be there, students that are not focused, and it makes the class very difficult. It makes it so that you don't want to be there, and every time you're in that classroom you just wish, oh my gosh, is it over yet, right? So this is a topic that I want to address with you because I think you can turn that around, and I'm going to show you how to do that. It is super important that you connect with that student. It's super important that you build a relationship with them, because if you do not have that base, if you do not have that relationship, then they're not going to learn anyways. They're not going to work for you and they're not going to learn. So really the whole class is wasted. These tips that I'm going to give you are also going to help you retain regulars, keep regulars or students as your regulars. They're going to come back to you because you actually took the time to build this relationship with them. So it's not only for those that are difficult to teach, but also if you are looking to build your student base, to build your clientele and really get those students coming back because they enjoy you. So I have 7 tips today and I'm going to start right away. So the first thing that you need to do is to change your mindset. And what I mean by that is that instead of looking at your schedule and saying, oh my gosh, it's Johnny, not Johnny, and dreading that student, change it to challenge accepted. I got this. I'm going to find a way that I'm going to get Johnny to actually participate and focus, or I'm going to find a way for Johnny to actually sit and listen to the instructions, or I'm going to find a way to make Johnny laugh. Whatever your goal is, take it as a challenge rather looking at your schedule and dreading that class, because if you go in with that mindset, it's not going to be helpful in any way. And I speak from experience. So I've been teaching online for 3 years. I was before that, I was a teacher in a brick and mortar school, and I decided to teach online. And I used some of the same skills that I learned to connect with my students. I had a student that was just so uninterested when I first started teaching. He could not care less. I was so surprised that they kept booking me because I figured, my goodness, he doesn't care. He doesn't want to be with me. Why are they still booking me? And he was monotone. He would read, but with such low energy. And it was just a blah class. So after maybe a week of 2 of dreading having the student that I had like 3 times a week, I said, that is enough. I want to enjoy the student, and I want the student to enjoy my classes as well. So I changed my mindset and I said, I'm doing this. I'm going to get Johnny to like me and smile in class, because he never smiled. And that is exactly what I did, and I'm happy to report that today we are best friends. How did I do it, you may ask? Well, I used humor. For him, it was humor that worked. I tried to use humor at his level. So I did not put on a clown suit and I did not stand on my head to get him to laugh. What I did is that I teased him. He was I think 10-year-old when I first met him, and too cool for school. And so I would, make fun of him sometimes. So if we were doing a lesson on clothing and we learned the word shirt or pants and all that, and then I would say, please read this for me. He read it. And then maybe I would say, oh, Johnny, I know this is your favorite colored shirt. And it would be pink, right? And oh, No, that was his reaction, like, excuse you? No, of course not. So I would tease him and get a reaction out of him. So those were my first smirks that I got out of him, because I would just be like, what? This, come on, it's beautiful. John, I mean, look at it. Pink, it's long, or whatever it is. I would really, you know, just try and tease him a little bit. The other thing that I also started doing was mimic him. So when he would read in such a monotone way, the bird flew over the tree and then the tree fell down, or whatever, I'm making up some random sentence. I would then answer like that. That is so good, Johnny. Good work. I really liked your reading. And again, that made him smirk. He like realized that that's how he sounded. So although I would laugh after that, you know, and be like, all right, Johnny, like, come on, let's move on. He realized that I was able to have fun with him and I didn't take him too seriously in that sense. And those were the first signs of him starting to like me. He's like, okay, teacher, you're clever. I see what you're doing, right? So that is how I used humor with that one student. I just had another student. He is much younger and I did the same thing. I teased him in little different ways. I didn't make fun of him, but just, you know, like, oh, come on, you like pink cars, or for some reason they're boys and usually boys don't like pink, so that's what I use. And right away, no, teacher, no. But he laughed. He thought it was funny that that's what I thought. So using humor in your classroom can start those connections with that student. So tip number 2 is to start asking personal questions. Go beyond the just regular, what is your favorite color? What do you like to eat? Ask them more. Ask them about their hobbies. Ask them about what they like, what they dislike. That is also a very good one. We often ask them, what is your, favorite color? My favorite color is purple. Great, wonderful. Now ask them, what is the color you like the least? And then you can use that. Remember what they tell you, so that, just like I was explaining before, you might be able to tease them later on with it. Or if it's an animal that they don't like, do you like spiders? I like spiders. Do you like spiders? And then usually it's like, oh gosh, no. So ask them what they like and dislike, and ask them about what they do outside of school. A lot of them play a musical instrument. A lot of them take extra classes, either dancing or robotics. Really try and see if you can get more information and ask them those personal questions, because then they realize, oh, she cares. She wants to know more. Tip number 3, show genuine interest. Now that you've gotten to know your student a little bit more by asking them more personal questions, bring it back into the classroom and show them that you were listening and that you cared. So if your difficult student that you finally got to talk about something that he likes, maybe Minecraft, maybe a certain animal, now use that to your advantage. Customize your rewards. Bring rewards that will intrigue the student. If they like Minecraft, use Minecraft rewards. You can also play games with them. So it can be a teacher versus student game. And again, you could be using the topic of whatever they said they liked or disliked, and see who gets the most spiders. Oh no, I don't want to have all those spiders. Whatever it is. So play games, use their interest as rewards, ask about them. Last class, you talked about Minecraft. Did you play Minecraft today? Really? What level did you get to? Or whatever, I clearly don't play Minecraft, but that's what I did with my Johnny. That's what he loved. We also drew characters from Minecraft. So Steve, I know him, see? And it would be a step-by-step drawing that I did with him. So in class, we would do that as he was learning. All these different ways you can show that you genuinely care about them. Tip number 4, play games. I just mentioned that. Instead of just giving rewards, if your platform encourages you to reward your students, try playing games instead of just saying, oh, you get a car, good job. You like passed this level, or you repeated, good job. It's not very interactive. They get the reward and you move on. But if you play a game with them, now you are getting to know them again. So it can be a little competition. Not that competition works for every student, but it can be a competition, student versus teacher. It can be tic-tac-toe, where you actually use the vocabulary words of things that interest them. them. So if it's animals, then you use animals and they need to choose the animal that they want to get their X on the tic-tac-toe sheet. You can also play games that will make you move or make the student move. So you're showing that, okay, I get it. I know you need to move during class, so let's do these 2 slides and then we play the game, right? So then they focus in for those 2 slides and then you do that little game that you have ready for them. So those are really, really good ways to get to know your students more, which then will help you know more about them and how to teach them, and then also build that relationship that we're wanting. Tip number 6, or 6. This is what they like to do in China. So tip number 6 is to adjust your teaching style to the student. If you have a high energy student and you are more someone that is, maybe calm, or you're just not that teacher that's going to put stickers on their face or anything like that, that's totally fine, but you're still going to have to try and match that student's energy. So if they are bouncing off the wall, again, use that. Tell them, if you read this sentence, if you do these 2 slides, if you can name me 5 animals, or whatever the challenge is or the goal is of that lesson, then move with them. Get out of your comfort zone and start moving more, or do something silly that normally you might not do, but you do it for them so that they are happy to see their teacher doing something so fun and then can focus again. If you have students that are the opposite, monotone, uninterested, just don't want to be there, well then if you're a high energy teacher, try to take it down a notch. You might be too much for that student, as well as students that are maybe just learning English. They just might feel overwhelmed with you trying to show them and get them engaged. It just might be too much. So bring it down a notch. You can still be your silly self, but like I said, maybe more like through teasing, through humor, a little more subtle. So match that student, meet them where they're at. And then if they're a student that exactly doesn't really want to be there, you are trying to, class by class, get to know them, build that relationship, so that eventually, just like my Johnny or my other student, they want to share more, and then you'll see them blossom as students. My Johnny, like I said, we're best friends. He will tell me everything now about school, what he likes, what he doesn't like, what teacher made him mad, and why he thinks homework is ridiculous, and he just chats and chats and chats, and I did not get that out of him when I first met him. It took a while, but you can get there, especially if you have that mindset of challenge accepted. And now tip number 7, last tip, be and stay true to who you are. You might start thinking, I need to be more like this teacher. Maybe you are on Instagram and you see all these amazing teachers. Maybe you're on Facebook. Maybe you are on YouTube and you're thinking, oh, she's so energetic, I need to match that energy. Or I love this teacher, she's so good, or he's so good, I need to be more like them. In the end, that is going to stress you out, because you're going to think more about how you should be acting like that other teacher rather than being who you are and working on that. So if your student is low energy and you're thinking, I need to be high energy like that other teacher, not necessarily. You can build it up slowly with the student, but remain who you are. Students can sense when you are not being genuine, when you are not being authentic with them, and then that will create a barrier. So yes, maybe their parent still books you, but they're never going to actually work as hard as you would like them to, or they're never actually going to show any interest in the class. So stay true to who you are, and we can all learn as teachers. I am still learning. I will always learn how to be a better teacher for every different kind of student. But I don't want you to feel like you need to be like this specific teacher that you saw on YouTube or that you see on Instagram or whatever your platform is. Remember to teach the way that you feel comfortable, but challenge yourself or adapt when needed. So let's wrap it up. Those were my seven 7 tips on how to connect with your students, and it is super important. I cannot stress that enough. It is so important to connect with your students, to take that time to build that relationship. You will see such growth, and you will see that you will enjoy your lessons, your classes with all of your students if you apply these 7 tips in your teaching. The students will be happy to see you, will participate a lot more, and again, I want to remind you that this is not going to change in one lesson. This might take 2-3 weeks. It might even take longer. Now, you might use the help of the parents sometimes. I don't know, you might have them on WeChat, or you might have them, they might be writing feedback to you. You can write back and forth, and you just, keep encouraging the parents to book you, to stick with you, because you are working on that student. Don't just move on, or don't just do the minimum and move on and just dread those classes with those students. They all deserve good teaching. They're all children. They're all still learning about life and how to be. So that is our job, and we are lucky to be in that position. So remind yourself of that you can do this. Take some workshops if you need to. If that makes you feel more comfortable, watch more of these YouTube videos. I got a ton more for you. And enjoy your job, enjoy the students. Let me know if this has helped you. I would really love to hear from you. If you are a new teacher and have more questions, you can comment below. You can write me at heymsk01@gmail.com. If you are interested, if you have been watching videos on teaching online and would like to apply for VIPKid, just again, write me an email at heymsk01@gmail.com, or you can write a comment down here and we will get in contact. I help people through the hiring process. I have resources for you. So just reach out to me, please. You can also go check out my video on feedback 101. If you are looking to get feedback from parents and also looking to improve your own feedback, that is one of the best videos I have out there, because it's packed with information. I believe they go hand in hand. You need to write good feedback to get good feedback. So check that video out. You can also check out my video on gender neutral rewards. So I was talking about using rewards. I have a video on gender neutral rewards. So it doesn't matter if you have a boy or a girl that you're struggling with, that you're trying to connect with. I have a bunch of ideas for you of rewards that you can use throughout the class to keep their attention or to make that connection, build that relationship. All right, thank you so much for watching, for sticking around with me. Please hit subscribe and that bell if you want to be notified every time I upload a video. I do try to upload once a week, and there will be more to come. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.